Hi, everybody. My name is Magda Gushak, and I am the gallery director at Northland Pioneer College's Talon Gallery. It's located on the Show Low or White Mountain campus. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about how to photograph your artworks. This is really important if you are applying for an opportunity where you need to show your artwork, like a scholarship or an exhibition. And it's particularly important if you are applying to an online exhibition where your photos are going to be used to showcase your work. In a lot of cases, if a jury or a group of art professionals is looking at your artwork and your photos aren't good, even if your art is good, your art won't be selected to be included in the exhibition. So photographing your artworks isn't really that hard, and you don't need a lot of technical equipment. In fact, if you have a smartphone with a good camera on it, that's basically all you need. So I'm going to show you a few tips to make this easier so that you have more successful photos. My number one tip for you is if you're photographing two-dimensional artwork and you have it in your house and you have it in a frame, take it out of the frame. It's really, really hard to get a good photograph of an artwork in a frame, especially if that frame has glass in front of it and that glass is reflective. So take it out, and better yet, crop out the frame. We're usually not interested in seeing how you framed it. We just want to see your beautiful art. If you're photographing at home and you're not a professional photographer, you're going to need to figure out how to deal with a background, especially if you are photographing something like a three-dimensional object. So one good idea for this is to put it on a piece of fabric. However, color does matter, as do wrinkles. So please don't put it on a distracting piece of fabric where we're looking at the fabric more than we're looking at your artwork. If you don't have a piece of fabric that you can iron the wrinkles out of, putting it on a plain background like a floor might work well, or even a gravel driveway if the gravel is not distracting. Think about the color of the artwork and try to neutralize the background as much as you possibly can. Get closer, crop out distractions. This is something that we don't think about very often when we're taking photographs. We really want to focus on your work. So when you're setting that up, make sure that you're at the very least eliminating the background. And consider eliminating the frame if it's not adding any special element to your work. So physically move closer. You can use the zoom option on your device, whether you're taking a picture with a phone or with a regular camera, but you're going to get a higher quality image if you actually just get closer to the artwork. Get parallel to the artwork. This is something that you really need to consider, especially when you're photographing two-dimensional work. So watch your edges. Try to make sure that the edge of your screen on your picture taking device lines up with the edge of the two-dimensional object that you're taking a picture of. If it's a framed artwork, or if it's any artwork that is flat. Don't use a flash. If you have your flash set up automatically on your smartphone, figure out how to temporarily turn it off. Flash basically kind of bleaches out the color in the artwork. I don't know if you can really tell it on these two pictures, but the colors are much more vibrant on the right-hand side, and that's without flash. Usually your flash gets activated on your device if you are not in a good lighting situation. So lighting's really important when you're trying to take a picture of artwork. And we're going to talk about lighting in just a minute, but make sure you disable your flash. Flash can also add some really weird color effects and shadows. So you can always tell when a three-dimensional object is taken with a flash because you have this weird little cast shadow behind it, a bright spot in the center, shadow effect around it, and typically the image turns out a little bit more blue. So this is an image of this object taken with a flash. This is an image of the object taken with just natural light. Natural light is going to be your friend in all photographs. Now, of course, you do have to pay attention to the kind of natural light and where it's coming from. So make sure that if you're using natural light, which I highly recommend you do, get into a place with even lighting. So go outside. It could be a sunny day or it could be an overcast day. Overcast day is ideal because your lighting is going to be very, very even all around. But if you're in a sunny situation, just go into an area where there's shade, even shade, not shade that's coming through a tree or some other element where you have bright spots and dark spots. This was taken underneath a tree. This was taken in a shady area where a shed was blocking the sun. No professional setup here, but really great color and even lighting in that image. And lastly, remember to focus. We don't think a lot about this on our smart devices when we're taking images. A lot of times the device will automatically try to focus on the largest thing in the picture. But sometimes if you've moved your device around a lot or you've moved it kind of quickly, it might still try to be focusing on something else in the background. A good habit to get into when you're taking pictures on your smart device is to tap the screen on the image that you're trying to take the picture of. That will make sure that you get nice, crisp, clean images of your artwork and not the focus being on the background. Sometimes you don't even notice that your image is out of focus. So always check those images before you send them off to me or anyone else to look at for review. Another good piece of advice is to take a few images while trying to focus each one on the object that you plan to submit. That way you have a few different examples to choose from and hopefully one of them will work. Okay, that's all that I have for you guys today. Hopefully that's helpful and I always look forward to seeing your artwork.